My name is Ryan Carter, and for a long time, I thought I had everything a man could want. A stable job in marketing, a cozy home just outside of Seattle, and a beautiful wife named Emily, the kind of woman who could light up a room with her laughter. We met in college. She studied graphic design, I studied business. I used to joke that we were the perfect combo. I'd sell the dream and she'd make it look good. For 10 years, we built a life together, brick by brick. We had plans to travel, to start a family, to grow old in that little house with the red maple tree out front. But if I've learned anything, it's that even the strongest foundations can crumble when one person starts digging underneath in secret. It all began with a weekend trip. Emily told me her company was sending her to a creative retreat in Portland. It sounded harmless. She even showed me the email invitation, or at least what looked like one. I didn't think twice. She'd always been ambitious and passionate about her work, so it made sense. But something about that weekend, it didn't feel right. Maybe it was how distracted she'd been for weeks, always checking her phone, smiling at messages she'd never explain. Or maybe it was how she'd suddenly started dressing up more, even when she was just going to work. Still, I trusted her, because that's what you do when you love someone. You trust them, even when your gut screams not to. The first red flag came on Friday night. She was supposed to call me when she got to the hotel, but she didn't. Hours passed. I texted, no response. Finally, around 11 p.m., she sent a quick message. "Sorry, babe. Long day. Gonna crash early. Love you." It sounded generic, like something copy-pasted from a movie. The next morning, I woke up uneasy. I checked her Instagram just out of curiosity. Nothing new on her account, but one of her co-workers, Megan, had posted a story from the same retreat. It was a boomerang clip. People laughing around a campfire. I almost scrolled past it until I noticed something in the background. Emily, not sitting with her team, but standing close, too close, to a man I didn't recognize. He had his hand on her lower back. She turned toward him, smiling in that soft, familiar way she used to smile at me. My stomach dropped. I replayed that story a dozen times, zooming in, hoping I was wrong. Maybe it was a trick of the light. Maybe she was just being friendly. But deep down, I knew. That wasn't the look of a friendly coworker. That was the look of someone who'd already crossed a line. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I decided to stay calm. I waited until Sunday when she got back. She walked through the door carrying a small suitcase and a fake smile. "Hey, babe," she said, hugging me like she always did, but it felt rehearsed. "How was the retreat?" I asked, trying to sound normal. "It was great," she said quickly. "We worked on some big projects, did team-building stuff, really good bonding time." "Bonding," I repeated, forcing a grin. "Sounds productive." She didn't notice my tone. She went upstairs to unpack, humming like nothing was wrong. I stood there in the kitchen, my hands trembling slightly. And then I decided I needed to know the truth. That night, while she showered, I picked up her phone from the nightstand. I knew it was wrong. I hated that I was doing it. But sometimes love turns you into someone you don't recognize. Her phone was locked with Face ID. I waited. When she came out wrapped in a towel, I acted casual. "Hey, can you unlock your phone? I need to check that email from the water bill. It's under your inbox." She didn't hesitate. "Sure." She unlocked it and handed it to me. Big mistake. Once she turned around, I opened her Messages app, scrolled past the usual friends and coworkers, and then I saw a contact name that didn't fit. AM. At first, I thought it might be her boss. His initials were AM too. But the messages told a different story. AM. Miss you already. Can't stop thinking about last night. Emily. Me too. That kiss. I can still feel it. AM. Next time, no pretending. Just you and me. Emily. Can't wait. I felt the air leave my lungs. That was it. The confirmation. I'd been living with a stranger. She came back into the room, drying her hair. Did you find the email? I looked up, trying to keep my voice steady. Yeah, found something else too. Her smile froze. What do you mean? I held up her phone, the screen glowing with her betrayal. She went pale. Ryan, please, I asked quietly. How long, Emily? How long has this been going on? She didn't answer. Tears welled up, but I wasn't sure if they were from guilt or fear. Was it worth it? I continued. Throwing away everything we built for him? Her lips trembled. It's not what you think. I laughed bitterly. You said that before. Remember? When you came home late? When you started working weekends? I believed you every single time. Ryan, I was lonely. You were always busy with work. We stopped connecting. Oh, so it's my fault. You cheated because I didn't text enough? She crowed harder now, reaching for me, but I stepped back. Don't, I said coldly. You don't get to touch me. That night, I slept on the couch. She tried to come downstairs twice, but I didn't speak. In the morning, she was gone. A note on the counter said, I need space. Please don't hate me. I didn't hate her. Not yet. But the love that once filled that house was dead. I took the week off work. I couldn't focus, couldn't eat. Every room smelled like her perfume. Every corner had memories. Laughter, plans, promises, all poisoned now. 3 days later, I got a text from an unknown number. Ryan, it's Aiden. We need to talk. Aiden. So that's who AM was. My wife's boss. The same man who gave her that promotion. The same man she spent her retreat with. I stared at the message for a long time before replying, You've got 10 minutes. Come by my house. When I saw Aiden's message pop up on my phone, my blood boiled. I could almost hear his voice, calm, confident, the way he always carried himself when he came over for dinner. He'd shake my hand, compliment the wine, pretend to be the perfect gentleman. Now I realized he was just shaking the hand of the man he was betraying. 10 minutes later, a black BMW pulled into my driveway. I stood at the window, watching him step out. Pressed shirt, perfect hair, the same smug look I'd seen 100 times. The kind of man who thought rules didn't apply to him. He walked up to my front door, hesitated, and then knocked. I opened it before he could knock again. We stared at each other. Two men, same age, same height, but standing on opposite sides of the truth. Ryan, he began softly, I didn't come here to fight. Good, I said, stepping aside, because you're not leaving until I get some answers. He followed me into the living room. The house was silent, the air heavy. He looked around at the couch, the photos, the place where he'd probably imagined himself someday. So, I said, crossing my arms, you and my wife, how long? He took a breath. About 6 months. I clenched my jaw. 6 months. Half a year of lies. She told me things were over between you two, that you were distant, unhappy. I slammed my fist on the table. Don't you dare justify it. He flinched. I'm not. I didn't mean to fall for her. I laughed bitterly. You fell for a married woman, my wife, in my house. He looked down, ashamed, or at least pretending to be. You know what the worst part is? I said. You didn't just destroy my marriage.
You made her believe it was okay. You made her the liar." He didn't respond. For a long moment, all I could hear was the ticking of the clock. Then I said, "You said you didn't come here to fight, so why did you come?" He looked me in the eye. "Because Emily's leaving town. She's quitting her job. She wants to start over. And I thought you should know." I froze. "Leaving?" He nodded. "She said she can't face you anymore. She's going to her sister's in Arizona." Something inside me cracked. 10 years, gone, and she couldn't even say goodbye to my face? I took a deep breath, trying to keep from exploding. Then I smiled, a cold, hollow smile. "You know, Aiden," I said slowly, "you've taken a lot from me. My trust, my marriage, my peace of mind."
He frowned. "Ryan, I'm sorry." "No, don't be sorry," I interrupted. "Just remember this feeling, because someday someone's going to do the same thing to you." He stared, confused. "What do you mean?" I leaned closer. "You'll see." Then I walked to the door and opened it. "Now get out." He hesitated, then stepped outside. "For what it's worth," he said quietly, "I really did love her." "Yeah, so did I." And I slammed the door shut. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't break anything. I just sat there, staring at the wall, thinking. If Emily was really gone, I needed closure, my way. The next morning, I went through her things. Clothes, notebooks, sketchbooks, and then I found her old external drive. Inside, photos, videos, project files. And buried deep in one folder, dozens of pictures from the retreat. Some with her team, some with him, one of them kissing. That was the moment I stopped being sad and started planning. Aiden wasn't just a boss. He was a public figure in our industry. He'd built a reputation on ethics, trust, company culture. I knew his wife. Yes, his wife. They had 2 kids, and I had proof. But instead of doing something impulsive, I decided to be smart. I compiled everything, screenshots, photos, text messages, timestamps, and then I sent it anonymously. First to his company board, then to his wife. Within a week, the story exploded. He was suspended from his position. His wife filed for divorce. And Emily, she called me, crying, begging me to stop it. "Ryan, please, he's lost everything." I answered calmly. So did I. She tried to apologize again, but I hung up. That was the last time we ever spoke. It's been 6 months now. I sold the house, moved to a smaller apartment downtown, started running again. I even met someone new, Lara, a quiet, kind woman who doesn't play games. Sometimes I still think about Emily, about what we had, what we lost, and about how love can turn into poison if you let it. But I've learned something. Closure isn't about forgiveness. It's about reclaiming your peace. One night, I was having dinner with Laura when a news alert popped up on my phone. Aiden Marshall resigns from his company following investigation into workplace misconduct. Laura noticed my expression. "You okay?" I smiled faintly. "Yeah, I'm good." For the first time in a long time, I actually meant it.